Oh, so you're blind?
How can you be a service dog? He's so little.
So, what's your problem?
Telling someone you can't be here prior to inquiring about why this dog is there is quite invasive and confrontational.
They accept you, but they're annoyed. They treat you like you're an inconvenience.
It's like being called a fake.
We need to do better than we have in the past.
Just ask me, is that a service dog?
They should approach me with respect and by keeping their distance, because I find a lot of people, when they approach us, they like get down and kind of like inspect Poppy and touch her. But that's really not the thing to do. Is just to come up to me and be like, hey, I was wondering if I could see your documentation. Because that's a completely fair question to ask, and it should be asked because there are service dogs. Well, dogs and service dog vests who are posing as service dogs. I would like them to be speaking to me. I would like them to be ignoring Poppy because she is working for me and she's not a pet.
Here, bud.
Excuse me, sir. I don't know if you noticed, but a gentleman's just walked in with a dog. I didn't think animals were allowed in here.
Well, they are if they're traveling, but I don't think that's a pet. Just give me 1 second. Excuse me, sir. Are you training this dog?
No, this is actually my dog.
Okay, do you have some identification for your dog?
I do.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, that all checks out. All right, thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too, thank you.
So that's actually a service animal. You can tell by the harness, and they had all the right identification, but thank you very much for checking.
Fabulous, thank you.
Have a good one.
Crowds. Trying to keep track of everyone that's around you. That's a bad one for me. I don't like people coming up behind me. Not at all. I don't like people. Snoopy creates that barrier so that people can't sneak up behind me.
It can be crowded spaces, but oftentimes a lot of us really struggle with ambient noise. So just a dull roar can really upset us. And the reason that can upset someone with PTSD so much is that we're dealing with something called hypervigilance. So because we were on alert so often doing our jobs that cause these traumatic symptoms, our brains were almost conditioned to always be on alert, always be paying attention, and too much. So that's why it's called hypervigilance. Sit down, please.
Here's your ticket. Have a great flight.
Thank you.
I can take the next in line.
Come on, bud. Let's go. Come on. Here you go. Come on.
There are periods where I'm going to be stressed out because there's a lot of movement, a lot of people coming and going and brushing past me. They're moving quickly. It's very loud because of the announcements and what have you. And she knows that I'm going to get nervous in that environment, so she'll stay close like she is right now. If I'm more agitated, she might jump up with her paws on my lap and start nuzzling me around the neck. I've actually had her in the past, in her current size, jump up into my arms to protect me. She's basically giving me a hug and keeping me safe, or in her mind she is. That big of a response is usually going to be something, again, really loud or a whole bunch of different stimuli all at once.
Hello, where are you traveling to today?
Going to Ottawa.
May I take your identification, please? Yeah. Driver's license, passport. Oh, thank you. And will your dog be traveling with you today? Could you help me? This is my first time checking in a passenger with a service dog.
Absolutely. So first step, you want to authenticate the animal by asking for ID. Feel free to ask additional questions if you're uncertain about the documentation or concerned about the animal's behavior.
So let's say the dog is agitated.
Yeah, so you just clarify with the owner, make sure that was normal, and then carry on.
In booking a flight, a service animal handler should identify that they do have a service dog that will be traveling with them. The airlines then will tell the person, under most of the policies of airlines, that they have to go through their medical desk. The way that the airlines work, you should not have a problem when you go to the check-in counter.
Do you have your dog's identification papers?
I do, yeah.
Thank you. And are you going to be checking in a bag today?
Yeah, I just have the one bag. So I got an email last night saying that my seat selection had changed. I was initially at the back of the aircraft, but now they've moved me to the front. Is it possible to get moved to the back?
Let me check that for you. It looks like we do have some space available at the back, so I can make that change.
Thank you.
And there we are. Here's your ticket. Have a great flight. Bye.
Next in line, please. Okay, thank you. Hi, where are you traveling to?
In a situation where, as a service provider, if you're concerned about whether this dog is allowed in this establishment, I would ask that you try not to approach me with a standoffish tone. Telling someone you can't be here prior to inquiring about why this dog is there is quite invasive and confrontational. So if you need to ask me about why he's here, and I'm okay with you asking why he's here, but if you need to do it, just ask, is that a service dog? Yes. And if you need to go further than that, can I see paperwork to substantiate, do you have identification to substantiate him being a service dog? That's fine. I have no problem with that. And legally, as an establishment, you're allowed to ask those questions. But the confrontational stuff is very hard especially first responders and military personnel. We don't necessarily deal with confrontation very well when we're dealing with a disability like PTSD. And you could look at the autism spectrum as well. That person or their family that are with a dog, a service dog, a confrontation is horribly detrimental to that family. So a gentle approach. That's fine.
Now, may I get you to put your bags in the bins, please?
Yep.
Just your other bag also, please, if you don't mind.
That.
Thank you. And if you have any liquids, gels, aerosols, or creams, okay?
Don't have nothing.
If you have any large electronics, such as laptop, I'll get you put in the bin also.
Nothing in
If
there.
you have anything left in your pockets, loose change, cell phone, keys, small objects, I'll get you put it.
That's it.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Now you may proceed to walk through, please. Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
good day.
you.
So it's very important that that customer care people begin to realize that when they see a service dog, that's the time to assist the person, maybe help them through a shorter line, like they do somebody in a wheelchair. We need to do better than we have in the past.
Just your boarding pass, please. Yep. Thank you. Excellent. And now you can proceed to the family and special needs line. Hello, bonjour, sir.
I get defensive if I'm in an elevated state. So a harsh approach is gonna get a negative result. So it's important that you approach people with a calm demeanor and potentially offer them some accommodation if you have any, instead of saying, come with me this way, saying to somebody, would you like to come through this side entrance to enter instead of being in this crowded area. And of course, if they ask me about Blaze, about her being a service dog, I have no problem showing them my ID. but I never really have issues being that she is wearing a very professional vest and it's quite obvious that she's identified as a service dog.
Bonjour, hello.
Hello.
So you have a few options for your screening today, sir. You can either come on through the walk-through metal detector with your service animal, or if you prefer, you can bypass on the side. I can give you a quick scan with the handheld metal detector or a physical search, and your service animal will be subject to screening as well.
Would it be possible to just have him sit down, leave him here, walk through, and then give him a follow?
Sounds good.
Okay, perfect. Sit down, please, man. Sit down, please. That's a good boy.
Yeah. Okay, you stay. You stay.
Just come on through, sir.
Okay.
You can call your animal through. Excellent. So you have alarmed at the waist, sir, so I'm going to be giving you a quick scan today, all right? Yeah. So this is the handheld metal detector, sir. I'm going to give you a quick scan with it. Every time it beeps, I'm just going to have to verify that area, all right? You have something in your pocket, sir?
Oh, car keys.
Just keep those in your hand.
Okay.
Just your palms. At your waistline where your belt would be.
Yep.
Your shoelaces. And I just need to do a visual inspection of your service animal.
Yeah, no problem.
Perfect, you're all good to go. You can go ahead and grab your stuff.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Certainly, if you have a question about someone with a service dog, I would say approach, but make sure you keep your distance from the animal because they need to work and they are going to be interested when you come up because they want to know what you're doing there. So just keep your distance and say, you know, just politely ask, can I ask you a question about your dog? And usually your answer from whoever the handler is going to be, okay, what's the question? And then you can ask, you know, is your dog a service dog, or can I touch your dog, or is your dog friendly, what kind of dog, whatever your question is. And you're still keeping that distance and that dog is still able to work. Because more often than not, that's the problem, is that people are coming within that space that we need for our dog to work properly. And they're immediately assuming that since the dog has come near them, that they can touch the dog, or that they have the right to ask any question they wish about the dog.
Good morning. Are you flying with Navigator Air today?
I am, yeah.
We're going to be pre-boarding in just a few moments, and I was wondering if you wanted to pre-board with your service dog.
That'd be great, yeah. Please.
Okay, good. That's fantastic. If I could have your boarding pass, please.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you. That is a beautiful dog.
Well, thanks.
Is it okay to pet him?
Unfortunately, no. So Ben, being my service dog, he's, you can see he's leaning on me right now. He's also listening and looking for cues from me. So if you were to touch him, you'd be distracting him from essentially doing his job. So unfortunately, it's a no, but I really do appreciate you asking.
Thank you for explaining that. We're going to be boarding in just a few moments, and we'll let you know when we're ready for you.
Okay. There you go. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Navigator Air Flight 637 is now ready for pre-boarding. Passengers with young children or those requiring assistance are asked to make their way to gate 14 now. Thank you.
Hi. Boarding pass and ID. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a wonderful flight.
Thank you.
Hi there. How are you? I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
By law, under the Canadian Transportation Agency, the airlines must provide suitable space for a service animal traveling with a person with a disability.
Surprisingly, I've had many positive encounters with Ben, and I think that speaks to his level of training, just the way he acts, the way he conducts himself. I don't think folks are used to seeing such a large animal behave the way he does.
So on the plane, she can fit in the footwell of 2 or 2 and a bit spaces. It means that I lose all my foot space, but that's okay. She can't fit under the seat though, she's just too tall. But she usually can wrap around in 2-foot spaces. They don't like the service dogs on the seats. It's not fair. They shouldn't be there anyhow. If they did allow it though, she would gladly take it. She would actually fit better there because you can lift the armrest, but on a plane she fits fairly well. They will only allow a dog up to a certain size on a plane, which is understandable just because of spacing. We're also not allowed in the emergency seats because she becomes a tripping hazard. So I mean, there are some rules that they have to work around and we have to work around. Again, I have to tell them ahead of time that she's going to be there so that they save me that extra seat because they can't kick somebody off the plane when I arrive and, oh yeah, I have a service dog, sorry. It's just not fair to anybody. And there's no way we'd ever fit in one space. She'd be on top of me the entire time.
I've been accommodated very well on all the airlines I've dealt with in Canada. What they ask for Ben is that he sits at my feet under the seats in front of me. And oftentimes I'll board the aircraft before a lot of folks so that when they offer to anybody with small children or that needs special assistance and you can board the aircraft early, I'll take them up on that offer. So oftentimes people won't even know Ben's on the plane. It's anywhere I am with him that he's sort of concealed. When folks see him stand up, they're flabbergasted. They can't imagine that this animal was in here and they didn't know it. Because usually a dog this size, they're moving around, they're barking, they're licking, they're jumping. But well-trained service animals, they don't really act like what we as a society consider pets to act like.
Okay, I know. You know when I'm stressed, don't you? Hmm?
Hey, man.
Hey, how are you?
Not bad, how are you?
Good, good.
I see you've got the same kind of dog I got.
I do, yeah. Looks like the same company, too.
It is.
MSAR?
MSAR, yeah. He, she?
It's a she. Her name is Tula.
Tula, she's gorgeous.
Yeah. Did you have any problems on the plane at all?
Fortunately, we got away scot-free. Everything was good.
Yeah.
He's pretty big, but they accommodated him. They gave me a seat for free, and he sits at my feet. He has no issue with flying.
That's great.
How about Tula?
No, we haven't any problems. You know, for the most part, they're used to seeing us come through. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's my bag. Is that yours?
Yeah, that's mine too. Yeah. Good. Hi, man.
Okay, Tula, sit. There we go.
It was really good to meet you.
Yeah, take care.
Thanks
All
again
the
for everything
best,
you've done.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Sometimes the right person is standing right in front of you. You might not notice, but I know he notices you. I'm not broken, I'm just hoping you're my greatest fear. Maybe you just don't see him. There's no writing on the wall. Things that you say might confuse him. None of that matters at all. Dreams of being around her. Dreams of the perfect chance. I'm not broken. I'm just hoping you're my Sometimes I just need control.